Thank you. Then you'd like to go for a roll call?
Mr. Allen,
Here.
Mr. Belski-Azil, Mr. Murray is working, Mr. Pence,
Here.
Mr. Ronsberg-Azil, Ms. Foggy.
Here.
6 members present, 3 absent.
Thank you. I'd like to have a motion to approve the agenda, and we have PM 106, 107, and 108. For Chief can explain. Oh, first by,
Thank you, Mr. Pence. So we have an addendum to the Personnel Negotiations Committee, PN 10623, that the resignation of Stephen Potachniak, Special Education Learning Support, Emotional Support, Autistic Support Teacher at Johnstown High School, effective the end of the workday on October 13th, be accepted, and the administration be authorized to advertise the vacancy. Second edition, PN 10723, that the intermittent family medical leave of absence request from employee number 876, beginning with the first date of absence through 12 weeks during the 2023-2024 school year, be approved. There's a typo on this, Mrs. Crowder. There's a typo on this. We're missing the word year after school. You can make that adjustment, please. And PN 10823, that the uncompensated leave of absence request from employee number 3454 on November 15th through November 17th, 2023 be approved. And do you want me to speak about PM 108 now, or when we get to personnel negotiations? There's some information I would like to share about. We'll wait. Thank you, sir.
now we'll go to presentations.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Pence. I'd like to start off with our very own Dalton Lynch, senior at Johnstown High School, is here today to give the report from Johnstown High. Welcome, Dalton. Good to see you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
For the senior class of Johnstown High School, we celebrated the Spirit Week as part of the homecoming festivities. We had a different theme each day. Monday was Throwback Day, dressed from your favorite era. Tuesday was Superheroes versus Villains. Wednesday was where we wear pink. Thursday was Dress as Your Type. And Friday was Trojan Pride and Tradition Day. The class of 2024 also elected a homecoming court. The members of the homecoming court 2023 to 2024 Xenia Kobal, Desiree Felder, Jada Burkhart, Kiera Britt, Serena Ferrier, Raheem Durant, Dion Dixon, Bryce Maraska, Dalton Lynch, Seth Spanko, Monsieur Baxter, Jacob Moore, and Carmen O'Connor. The King and Queen were announced Friday, September 22nd at the football game versus Westmont. The King was Monsieur Baxter, and the Queen was Kylie Durango. Saturday, September 23rd, the senior class held the homecoming dance at the Pascarella Conference Center downtown. 273 students attended the dance. Some of the profit from the dance will also be used to help pay for prom. Finally, the senior class has started their first large prom fundraiser. Students will be selling Miss Field's cookie dough and other products. Orders are due October 5th. Cookies will be delivered right before Thanksgiving. There's still time to order if anyone is interested. They can contact Miss Oswald or Miss Nadecki at the high school. For the Key Club and Interact Club, they will be joining forces to create cards and posters for the Veterans Day. The Key Club will be volunteering at the annual Veterans Day breakfast for the district. Interact Club is collecting large bags of candy for trunk or treat downtown. The Interact Club organized a highway cleanup with the Rotary Club of Johnstown for October 7th. Later in the month, members will be attending the Interact District Conference, our first preschool literacy project of the school year, where we read books with preschool students. The annual pumpkin patch at our own Johnstown Elementary School, and trunk or treat in downtown Johnstown. Members are looking forward to continuing youth and peace and action trainings throughout the fall. For the National Honor Society, we elected junior officers for the 23 to 24 school year. Congratulations to Secretary Jaden Oswald and Treasurer Brock Koval. They joined President Xenia Koval and Vice President Bryce Morosco. The Cosmetology Club elected officers, President, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer, and a fundraiser captain. Cosmo Club wrapped up a marinara sub and pizza sub. They went on a field trip around the city to L&D Multicultural Barber and Beauty School in the Salon State. M&M's, Shades, Palaces, Holiday Hair, Hairway to Heaven. All offer job shadowing opportunities, classroom partnerships, and employment options for the students. This annual expedition to area businesses is always successful when the owners support our program. The Scholastic Quiz. Students are having fun competing at local schools and pulling up together as a team and winning. Skills USA. The district competition date is set for December 13th. These students will be prepped and plans are underway for a school-wide fundraiser so all vocational students can participate in local events. Pep Club has been actively working to bring school spirit back to the district. The members have been attending all football games to develop a fan section to cheer on their fellow Trojans. Each game has its own theme for the week. Pep Club is also hosting a powder puff game football at the end of October. It will be juniors versus seniors. For SWIBIS Report, the first monthly rewards day will be held Wednesday, October 4th at the Johnstown High School. For Welding and Fishing Club, they are meeting monthly to plan their events for the year. The Fishing Club has also been trying flies and working on casting techniques. The Trojan Marching Band has had a strong start to their competitive season with 2 first-place finishes at Conwell Township and Tyrone. The band will host their annual home show competition on Saturday, October 14th, beginning at 10:30 a.m. at the Trojan Stadium. The Johnstown is set to perform at 1 p.m. This event is taking place before the 125th anniversary Alumni Game Saturday night, where over 100 alumni band members will be involved. The JHS Music Department will have a Halloween concert on Sunday, October 29th, at 3 p.m. in Cochran Auditorium. Attendees are encouraged to dress the part. That's everything.
Thank you, Dalton.
Thank you, Mike. Good job.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Pence. Our next presentation is a new presentation this year. Myself and the school board of directors we've started a Trojan Pride Award for this year, and it's nice to see so many people here this evening to support the Trojan Pride Award, the recipients, as well as friends and family members who came along with them, as this is a really great event and really captures all of the extra that our teachers often do for our students, and it remains behind the scenes. So I'd like to start our first Trojan Pride Award because this is why we have the most people in the audience tonight. The Trojan Pride Award that I would like to offer first is to Mr. Rich Johns, welding teacher at Johnstown High School. Come on up, Mr. Johns. So, Mr. Johns, this worked out perfectly because I was so impressed with you sponsoring and all of the work from the fishing club last year. Phenomenal, taking our kids up to Kinzu Dam and having that whole camping experience with the fishing club that you do totally on your own. And I don't know if everybody knows that, just out of the goodness of your heart and your love of fishing and outdoors and sharing that with our students. And then a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, you took our welding students down to JWF for an evening event, making sure that they were connected with business and industry. And so this is the kind of things that Mr. Johns does all the time behind the scenes, and we're just so proud of you and all that you give to our students. The funny thing is when I was putting this Pride Award together for you, I got a phone call from a parent in the district. And you know, sometimes parents call and they're not always happy about things in the district when they reach my office, right? So I got the phone call and it was from a mom who just went on and on about you and how amazing you are as a teacher. And so she said, can we do something for Mr. Johns? And I said, well, it's ironically enough, we're honoring him Tuesday night. So she said, can we come? So come on up, all of your students, parents that are here that said they wanted to be here to be a part of this. Why don't you guys back up a little bit, we'll get a great picture of all of you together. And thank you to the students and their families who were a part of this great event. Thank you so much, Mr. Johns.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. A little bit. Why don't you ladies get in the picture and I'll take one. I'll take one.
I always have trouble with those.
There we go. There we go. And Mrs. Jones, come on up. We're gonna get you here too. You know you're gonna hide back there. I'm not gonna let you. You get up here too. Because we know that all the time he gives us is less time he spends at home with you. That would be a good thing. But we want to thank you for that. All right. Thank you again. Thanks so much. Oh, it's your. Good to see you. Thank you so much. The next Trojan Pride Award we'd like to offer tonight will continue with the folks from Johnstown High School. And this is kind of a family affair with the Butchkos. Mr. Butchko, Mrs. Butchko, and Mr. Butchko work at the high school, and they do a fantastic job behind the scenes, constantly with photographs, video boards, and just supporting our students. And I know that behind all of that work is really a 3-person operation, and I know, and I hope that you brought the kids here too, did you? Because they're always there too. So not only are Mr. and Mrs. Butchko at our events, taking pictures and just organizing a lot of support behind the scenes for our students with the video boards, but their kids are here too. So they're kind of part of the gang as well. So Mr. Butchko, Les Paul, thank you so much for the work you did for homecoming. The video board couldn't have happened without your support. And again, these are just the extra things that Johnstown teachers do because they're so passionate about the work and they're so passionate about making sure our students have wonderful experiences. And so come on up and I'll give you your Trojan Pride Award and we can get a picture and bring the kids too. Bring all the kids, Darren. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Us, thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Raylan, thank you so much. It's good to see you. And you guys are getting ready, right? Big wedding coming up. All right. All right. So congratulations for all you do for us. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Daddy. The next Trojan Pride Award that we would like to offer is our secretaries at Johnstown Elementary School. With us this evening are Becky Savanas and Sarah Cox. Chrissy Muto could not be here, but Mrs. Savanas and Ms. Cox, if you can come up. So thank you so much for all you do for us. And I just want to give a little bit of background on the work that these ladies do. Will you take Chrissy's? I know her daughter had an event tonight. Elementary school is its own situation. Let's just put it that way. And at the beginning of the school year, making sure all of our students are on the right buses, going to the right daycare, making sure that all the phones get answered. I know because I was there just a couple of the days, these ladies were at the elementary school till well past 5:30, the first days of school, making it all happen, making sure all of our kiddos got to where they need to be. And I know you create systems that make that elementary school work so well. And we're so pleased and so proud of you. This award came by way of Mr. Hoffman. He wanted to make sure, he's our elementary principal, he wanted to make sure if we had an opportunity to give a Trojan Pride Award that it went to the three of you. So thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And Sarah, you have a wedding coming up also,
Yes,
right?
I'm a week after Les Paul.
All right, so we got a lot of weddings in the district. The next Trojan Pride Award that I would like to give tonight is to our fifth grade teacher at Johnstown Middle School, Andrea Jaber. Mrs. Jaber. Congratulations. Mrs. Jaber is receiving this award, and many of you may have seen the photograph on our Facebook page. Just so unbelievably smart of you and forward thinking. When we had our recent auction and we sold some of our old Johnstown High School football jerseys, Andrea took it upon herself to bid on those jerseys, and she purchased how many of them?
A lot.
And so last week, our fifth graders were all wearing Johnstown Trojan football jerseys for Pride and Tradition Day, and they were purchased by you, thinking we can use these at the middle school to do a great spirit day for the students. And beyond that, the students got to keep them. So can you imagine how our students reacted when they were given a jersey to wear and then told, well, you can keep it because we bought these for you. So thank you. That was just so thoughtful and caring and very much appreciated. We couldn't be more proud of you.
We have this, I'm a Trojan forever, so. I have extra jerseys if you want a jersey. Let me know.
Okay, did you get a picture? Come back. All right, thank you. Thank you again. And finally, we have a brand new teacher to the Greater Johnstown School District, the teacher at our middle school, Miss Sydney Warshall is here with us. And Sydney is getting a Trojan Pride Award right out the gate. That, usually takes a while for that to happen. So congratulations to you. Let me grab your award. And Sydney is receiving this award because many of you may or may not know, we are incredibly proud of our inclusion programs here in the district. And one of the programs that we have that you're all aware of is our bocce ball program. Last year, we reached out to Special Olympics of Pennsylvania and asked them if we could extend that program to our middle school. And because we had so much success with the program at our high school the previous 2 years, they said absolutely. Well, last year we couldn't convince anyone to become our bocce ball instructor, so we didn't have a program at the middle school. Well, fast forward to this year, we just hired Miss Warshall and approached her. I know Mr. Rivlin at the middle school approached her and asked her if she would consider taking on the bocce ball inclusion program at Greater Johnstown Middle School. And I think you didn't need too much coaxing. You
No, I
said,
didn't.
sure, I'll do that. So we're incredibly proud of you. Thank you so much. And this is really what being a Trojan is all about. So you got on board immediately. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Appreciate that. And that concludes the presentations for this evening, Mr. Pence. A lot of wonderful teachers in our district doing incredible, extraordinary things behind the scenes. Not a part of their regular workday for sure. So we're just blessed, and we're very grateful for all of you and the extra that you do for us.
Very good.
Thank
That
you.
was very good. Now we'll go to the hearing of citizens. Individuals have 3 minutes to discuss their topics. No derogatory remarks shall be made against board members, board officials, employees. No profanity or the remaining time will be forfeited. If an individual needs additional time, they are to contact the superintendent secretary to schedule an appointment. Robin, first on the list.
Hey, everybody, I'm here tonight to, talk about something that, is really bothering, John and I and a few parents in the district. We received several phone calls in the last couple of weeks regarding, the Johnstown football team. And, some of those comments and situations weren't very well. We are now if I'm wrong, please correct me, but we're supposed to be celebrating 125 years of Greater Johnstown football. Well, the way our football team is conducting themselves lately, this is not how I want to celebrate 125 years of the football program in Johnstown. I don't understand why these football players several years ago and now get in these big situations and participate in fights, fight underneath the bleachers. People have had to be pulled apart by coaches and whatevers. These are not the examples I want to see from our kids. I don't understand why these kids aren't being disciplined. It's like every time something happens with these guys, it's like a slap on the wrist because they're the football players.
That's
You know
not true. But
Well,
anyway,
That's the way it
I'll
looks.
comment. Yep, I'll comment. Continue. I shouldn't have interrupted you.
That's okay. But it just seems like if you're a football player, you're okay. If you're a basketball player, you're okay. Well, like I said last month, every time, every situation, every kid. If we are going to turn our kids around and discipline and do what we're supposed to, everybody has to be disciplined and taken to court and whatever the heck happens. If you're dumb and stupid enough to get involved in that nonsense, it is what it is, right, Amy? I mean, give it to them. But it's not happening. And people are noticing. And people are upset about that. And as a taxpayer in this city, I am upset about that. You know, I want my school district turned around. I just had a wonderful experience over summer school with 2 kids. You know, it breaks my heart to come here and have to talk about, you know, all of this. But our phones are blowing up and kids are being hurt, you know. And the funny thing is we had comments about how the older kids, instead of being the leaders and being the role models, are blaming the incoming 8th and 9th grade, 10th grade, and making them be the scapegoats. Some of these kids don't even want to play football anymore. Some of these kids aren't getting any playing time. I would like to know, if possible, why can't Mr. Antoine Reed, the coach of our football team, come to a school board meeting and talk about his football team? If he has nothing to hide and everything is fine. Oh, I thought you were telling me to get out.
I'm sorry, there's a gnat.
I'm like, oh.
There's an annoying gnat.
I'm sorry, I wasn't gambled, I was thrown out. But I'm just, you know, again, I would just like to see him come here and defend what he needs to defend. Because if there's
Okay,
nothing
Robin,
to hide,
thank you.
okay, but if there's nothing to hide, come and tell us.
Thanks, Robin.
You're welcome.
I agree with you, Robin.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Come on, John. Thank you.
Good evening. 2 expulsions on the agenda. I did see them. The loss of the building trades teacher is very troubling to me. I'm sure it's troubling to all of you. Trade programs are vital to our kids. I know we all agree on this. Questions. Is the shop going to close? People have been calling us up. I'm asking you to please keep the building trade shop open, and I hope you address my concerns with this program. Shops and vocational skills can pull people out of poverty. We talk about this every month. Many students pick trades instead of going to college. Dr. Curio, I know you're going to tell me if I could find you someone, you would hire them. I know there's a staff shortage. The problem is we have to talk about this because our kids are suffering, and this program is so vital. You get my point.
Yeah.
I forwarded you all a complaint earlier in the last couple of weeks from a family that transferred their child to Bishop McCord. I'm sure you're all aware of it. Hopefully you all read it. Isn't it sad that you stalled until just recently because I was told the PIAA court hearing was tomorrow to decide if Johnstown was too violent for the student to transfer. The student wanted to play football. There's 1 game left because I believe you signed the papers or came to an agreement in the last day or 2. Shame on you all. You know the school has a violence issue. We talk about this every month. This student should not have had to jump through hoops. The family shouldn't have had to hire a lawyer. They shouldn't have had to have gotten me involved. You should have dealt with this and showed more compassion. And they still want a response to everything in their letter. Amy, they told me you did call. They do. They still want a response, and they want to thank you all because their kids out of the district. Lastly, how many teaching or support staff positions have resigned in the last year? I'm not going to write to no request it. Don't worry. These are questions. I know you don't have the answer. How many positions remain unfilled? Think about that. Looking at the agenda tonight, there are too many resignations. Is it true that outside staffers have been terminated or removed from employment? We're getting a lot of calls, people. Did it involve ethical or societal problems? Is there a grooming going on by outside staff? How many outside staffers were removed from the district in the past 3 months? I don't want to play the right to know game. If there's an issue with staff in our school from third-party vendors, you need to address it tonight. Tell us. Tell us what's going on. I believe you know what I'm talking about. I know this is public courtesy on the floor. What's going on? Why am I getting calls? Why are people contacting me? You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to go into detail.
I get it.
You get it. And I hope you do address that. Those are my talking points. Thank you all for listening to my complaints, taking my numerous emails. I called for this month. Thank you. Thank you for those who are willing to talk to us and to work with us. But I do want to acknowledge that. It's easier when we all work together than when we're showing up and we're battling each other. Because we are a Trojan family, and I like your awards. And I think that teacher who was here who got the award, I wish you could find someone for the building trades position so you can give an award just like that next year to the new teacher showing up. Amy, I had so many calls about that program. Ron, Jean, and I know you agree with me on this, and I know you're doing everything you can, but if you cannot keep that program open, it's going to be a real shame to this district.
Thanks, John.
Absolutely.
We don't have an executive decision here. I don't think we have to go back. I need a motion for the approval of the minutes for the regular board meeting of Motion by Michael, second by Jim. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any questions? Motion passed. My report. This happened, everything I say is, you gotta figure it out, it's all sports related. And in a Colorado State football game, Hunter, who plays for Colorado, goes both ways. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons why they're winning. The guy from Colorado State made a cheap shot on him. I saw the thing on that, and he had a lacerated liver to where I think hurt Colorado because he couldn't play against Oregon and he couldn't play against Southern Cal. You know, I think that made a thing. But the thing over there was media and the culture was kind of put out there that Hunter should hate this guy. He ruined him for a couple of games, lacerated his liver on a cheap shot, that he should have retaliated on him. But guess what happened? Those two talked to each other and became best friends because they realized It's better to talk. And the thing is, Coach Prime, the three things he promoted: faith, family. And this is what transpired by these two kids who was on the playing field, that faith was number one for them and their family was number two. Even though our culture was trying to push these two guys for doing a teaching, which is not good, and I see this throughout the country, so if someone does something to someone, well, he hurt me, he said something to me, I didn't like this, let's go over and let's start fighting. What would happen to this country if they would take the example of those two guys and put the faith and their family together? What would happen? We wouldn't have fights in our schools. We wouldn't have kids going to sit there at a football game and sit there and go, well, this kid did this and have a fight. No, the hardest thing that we have to do is discipline somebody. Because when you discipline somebody, it's not black and white, because we are dealing with kids. We're dealing with human beings. And that's what makes it hard. I know everyone's saying, well, they did this, boom. They did this, boom. That's not how life is. Everybody is treated differently to a point to where you got to be compassionate. What can we do? This person here started to fight. What can we do so he don't fight anymore? And that's just my report there. And I'll go to you, the superintendent, Dr. Akiria.
Okay, Mr. Pence, thank you. I'll just start with my report because I want to feature and highlight a lot of wonderful programs here in the school district. We had several school-wide assemblies for our kickoff for our positive behavior support programs with a motivational speaker named Charlie. And we put a lot of stuff out on social media. I'm sure you saw that, and it was well received. And the nice thing about this program is that it's going to continue several more times throughout the school year. So it's not a one and done program where we will follow up with it and continue to follow the inspirational message that he gave us. We have a partnership at our elementary school with the Community Care Hub through the 1889 Foundation. And as of today, we are servicing 80 families at our elementary school. 80 families in the way of needs for clothing, hygiene, furniture, housing, employment, supporting parents that are incarcerated, grandparents raising, aunts and uncles raising their children. And I tell you the number because we can look at the number in two ways. We can look at the number as that's so sad that we have that many families that need that support. But I look at it in the way that I'm so glad that we have a program that we're partners with in our community that are able to support families in need. And right now, 80 of those families at our elementary schools getting the support that they need to get themselves back on track and to support their children so that they have the best experience they can have in our elementary school. And I want to thank Mr. Don Trotz, who works very closely at our elementary school with the community hub care workers and getting those people connected with the care workers to help them with a lot of challenging issues that our families in this community are facing. We will be hosting our 125th anniversary celebration of Trojan football next weekend on Saturday, October 14th at 6 o'clock with a game. Alumni band and cheerleaders will perform throughout. And then we will also host a tailgate mixer for reminiscing prior to the game. And I know there are a lot of folks coming in from out of town to celebrate the success of the Trojan football program. And we're really proud of 125 years of our program. The only high school close to us that has one more year is Wimber. Wimber High School, they started their football program 1 year prior than to us. And you can understand with the mines out there, the Berwyn Mine Corporation, they were able to field a football team quicker than we were. So we're really happy that that is coming up, and invite everyone to come out and enjoy the game. And then we will also have our Ring of Honor recipients named at that game. We do that every year where a group of alum from the school district previous football players get together, and they have a rubric and they score, and they induct former players into the Ring of Honor. They get a plaque, and then we have a plaque that's hanging in church in the stadium. So that will also happen during that time. We had a great opportunity this week, myself and other administrators in the district, to visit Lockheed Martin. We spent a wonderful afternoon with the HR department and the folks at Lockheed Martin, trying to look and see what employment opportunities they have up there for our students in career pathways, how we can get our students to understand this amazing business industry that's right in our backyard. They're very eager to partner with us. They would like to start developing tours and resume building and interviews for our students at the high school, so that our students can have an opportunity to move into that career pathway upon graduation, much like we have done the 2 previous years with Martin Baker. And so we're just continuing to develop these partnerships with business and industry, so our students who choose to go a career pathway instead of college have the opportunity to be gainfully employed upon graduation. So very pleased with that initiative, and we'll keep working that out. And then for the board and the community to know, on Thursday, I'll be traveling to Pittsburgh I've been asked to testify at a House and Senate Appropriations Committee hearing. And the purpose of this committee hearing is for both D's and R's to come to Pittsburgh. There will be several panels of people that are considered experts in school funding and school business, and what is necessary to move forward with the Commonwealth Court's decision in February regarding fair funding. And so we are now having hearings to talk about how we can take that ruling, and how do we start to implement the changes that the court ruled in our favor, Judge Jubileer ruled in our favor. So I'll be happy to talk about the Greater Johnstown story at that hearing in Pittsburgh on Thursday. Mrs. Kometz, just to respond to you without going into great detail, I can tell you that every student that misbehaved and behaved inappropriately was disciplined in regards to our sports programs. It's a shame that the community talks and speaks with authority, but I believe I'm the only one that can really speak with authority on the matters that happen at our school. Anytime a student violates the code of conduct, the same measures are given to every student, even though every student's situation is different. And we have to look at every student's situation based on that student. Discipline has been given to each and every one of those individuals. We do not look at student athletes separate from students. And I can't go into any more detail, but I can rest assured that the code of conduct was followed in every single one of those situations, and those students were disciplined, just like their non-athletic friends at our high school and at our middle school. So if you want to get back to people and let them know that, I'd appreciate that. I get disappointed when there's a whole lot of misinformation swirling around our community by people who think they have an answer or know something. I can tell you I do know, and that is the answer. Okay. Mr. DiBartola, as far as the building trades and maintenance program, unfortunately, the teacher that we hired felt that the program, that our situation was not in his best interest financially. He, like many of our vocational programs, those folks can make a lot more money out in the community other than, not teaching. Nurses are making, $100,000 a year. We bring a nurse in to lead our program and our vocational programs, and we start them off at 45,000 plus. They have the obligation, because they come from business and industry and not from the teaching world. They have the obligation, they have to go back to school, and they have to earn 60 credits of teaching pedagogy that helps them understand how to be a teacher. They've mastered the trade, but now we need them to understand how to be a teacher. So there's an educational commitment that comes with that as well. And sometimes that is the challenge for folks, to leave a lucrative job in the community and come back to teaching for $45,000 a year, and then have that educational responsibility on top of it. So, we're sad to see folks leave, but they have to make the best decisions for themselves and their families. That did not stop us at all from educating our students in the building trades and maintenance program. We have transferred those students to the CTC in Richland. We worked with Mr. John Augustine up there. He came down with his principal, met our students, families, were greeted, and had the opportunity to go up there and visit their program. So our students are now receiving their building trades and maintenance education at the CTC. There was no hiccup in their education. As soon as we knew that the program had to take a hiatus because of the teacher leaving, we transferred the students to the CTC. And that's what we do all the time. The students are not kicked out of the program or told the program's going to end. We transfer them. Now, they will remain there for the rest of the year if we don't have a teacher. We want them to be credentialed. We want them to leave there with a credential. If we are fortunate through advertising to gain a teacher, a credentialed teacher, a teacher for building trades and maintenance, we'll hire them at a board meeting, and they'll start the program back up at Johnstown High School. As far as PIAA goes, we have a board policy that instructs us that we must follow PIAA regulations, which is what we did in this circumstance. People have a lot of opinions about and feelings and emotions about it, because we're dealing with kids and we're dealing with difficult situations. But as a school district, we followed the letter of the law with the transfers and what we have to do for PIAA regulations. You can look it up. We have a board policy about it. But as far as anything more on that, it's a confidential matter. We're talking about a family and a student, and they're not here to tell me they give me permission to discuss their situation. So I'll just leave it at that. And then you had a couple questions about some other personnel matters, and they're personnel matters. So as is always the case, we do not discuss personnel matters in the public. Everyone has their right to their personnel situation. So I can't discuss those either.
But you're not denying it,
Not denying what, sir?
that you had staff that were removed for grooming purposes or other things like I mentioned. Is that a complete denial? There was no 3 staff in the last 3 months from outside service providers?
When we have outside service providers provide service to our district, we defer any issues to them, and they make the final decision. So you should write to know them if you want more information. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr.
You're welcome.
Now I'd like to have the board secretary report.
An executive session was held prior to this meeting from 4:15 to 5:05, or 5:04 correctly. Personnel matters regarding candidates for the positions listed on the agenda and other related personnel on the agenda, a support staff employee, a contracted employee, a professional employee, and safety and security matters. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Debbie. Solicitor's report, Ronald?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just briefly, I agree with what Dr. Arcario said, and actually what John said. I mean, the building trades, the CTC, I think, is at their highest enrollment they've been a decade. So building trades is just exploding right now. It's an awesome field to get into. It's just a different, career path for some of those students that may not have the success in, the academic side. So, I agree. I mean, building trades are just exploding. Talking more on the legal side, the school code actually, and I don't believe I spoke about this last meeting, but the school code is age 21 for special needs students, that we have to educate students up to age 21. Pennsylvania Department of Education actually came down with guidelines that they provided to the schools, saying that they were going to move that from 21 to 22. There were schools that took issue with that, not because we don't want to educate the students, but took issue with that because, again, the code says 21 years of age, and the legislature did not make any changes to those codes. So PSBA and Pittsburgh Public, some other school districts that have a lot of students, very large school districts, filed suit against PDE. So I will update the board and particularly our special ed department to let them know exactly what happens there. But at this point in time, they did file suit, and we're looking to see what's going to happen. I do believe, based on the fact that I just didn't see the regulatory authority to allow them to just arbitrarily make that determination, that hopefully it gets struck down. Again, not because we don't want to do so, but because we want the legislature to tell us we have to do so. So again, I'll get back to the board on what that looks like, but just for anyone who may have saw that in the news, that is something that's circulating right now.
Thank you.
And only, I saw Coach Prime's press conference afterwards, so I know exactly what you're talking about, because not only did those kids do well, his press conference afterwards, it was spot on about forgiveness and all those things. I only comment because I saw the exact same press conference. I mean, he's just doing awesome with what he's doing.
And the other thing is,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
It's a great conference.
It's all about
So
that.
that's all.
When you get a bunch of athletes like that, to be brought it up, and you're playing a game of war, and you can just sit there and put it in perspective. That's one thing I loved about sports is you gain life things about to where you get hit, you're getting hit, and when you play in real life, you've got real life situations in sports. Now, what do you do about it? This is why I love the thing about sports is, and I never want sports to go away from high schools. Some places they're taking them away, but you can't, because they're real life situations. And once you learn how they are, and you take it to life, and you sit there and you just treat people different. Everyone, I spent 12 years of it, professionally. And how many people there, they didn't go out and fight. They'll go out there between the lines and fight. But other than that, they treat people normal. Because they respect. You'll learn respect. And I'm just glad you brought it up again, because you learn respect, and I respect everybody. And that's the name of the game in this world of life here. Okay, I need a motion of approval of the treasurer report. Motion by Michael, second by Edward. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. We're going to Buildings and Operation Committee. That's Jim?
You want me to read the whole thing or?
No, you
don't have to. It's not.
No, it's already in public. Just say PO.
BO -5-23.
Motion by Tom, second by Michael. We need a roll call.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Davy,
Yes.
Mr. McMillan,
Yes.
Mr. McKessie,
No.
Mr. Pence.
Yes.
Ms. Foggy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Cafeteria, Edward.
C5-23.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second
Second.
by Tom. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. Michael goes for, since Tony's not here, education thing.
E27-23 to E47-23.
Motion
So moved.
by Tom, Edward, second by Jim. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
E48-23.
Motion? Motion
Motion.
by Tom, second. Edward, any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Daddy,
Abstain, family?
Mr. McMillan,
Yes.
Mr. McKessick.
Yes.
Mr. Pence,
Yes.
Ms. Foggy,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
E 4923.
Motion
Motion.
by Tom, second.
Second.
By Edward, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Now we'll go to, Kimberly's not here, so Mrs. Foggy's gonna take her spot.
Okay, PN 8123 through PN 8623.
Motion by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 8723, that Annette McCarty be appointed to the position of K-12 art teacher with all contingencies listed.
Motion by Tom, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 8823, that Larissa Bremer be appointed to the position of guidance counselor at Johnstown Middle School at step 7 of the salary scale, contingent upon personnel office receiving all the contingencies listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second.
Second.
By Jim. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 8923 through 9123.
Motion by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And then PN 9223, this is individuals be appointed to the following supplemental positions, contingent upon personnel office receiving all the necessary things that are listed. Basketball junior high girls, assistant coach for 1-year term, Melanie Moore. I'll do these one at a time or read them all.
Read them both.
Okay. Wrestling assistant coach for 1-year term, Austin Barber. And the other one we're tabling for now, correct?
Correct.
Good. Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second Tom. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 9323, that Sydney Warshall be appointed to the position of bocce ball advisor at Johnstown Middle School for a 1-year term at a stipend of $750, funded by Special Olympics, contingent upon all the contingencies listed.
Motion by Tom,
Sorry.
second by Jim. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 9423 through PN 9623.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second by Edward. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 9723, that LaQuinn Stevens Howland be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular educational, personal care assistant at Johnston High School, contingent upon all of the items listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Tom, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 9823, that Exery Lowe be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown High School, contingent upon receiving everything listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second
Second.
by Edward. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 9923, that Felicia Francis Birch be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown Middle School, contingent upon the personnel office receiving everything listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Tom, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 123, that Whitney Mitchell Fyock be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown Elementary School, contingent upon everything listed.
Motion by Michael, second by Tom. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 10123, that James Evans Jr. be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown Elementary School, contingent upon the personnel office receiving everything listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second
Second.
by Edward. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 10223 through PN 10523.
Motion
Motion.
by Edwards, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
And then we have an addendum here as well. PN 10623, that the resignation of, I'm gonna totally throw this last name apart, Stephen Tochnik.
Sure.
Wow, okay. Special education, learning support, emotional support, autistic support teacher at Johnstown High School, effective the end of the workday on October 13th, 2023, be accepted, and the administration be authorized to post advertise the vacancy.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second.
Second.
But Tom, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 10723, that the intermittent family medical leave of absence request from employee 876, beginning with the first date of absence through 12 weeks during the 2023 to 2024 school year, be approved.
Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Michael, second by Jim. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 10823, that the uncompensated leave of absence request from employee number 3454 on November 15th through November 17th, 2023, be approved.
Motion.
If I can just make a comment on that. I know in the past that we have had requests from employees to have time off uncompensated, and we have said no to those requests because we need our employees to be here. We want them to come to work. We're asking that you approve this one because this is this employee's wedding. And she had planned the wedding prior to being hired as a paraprofessional in our district. So a big part, a lot of money spent. And she does have personal days that she's going to use, but we surely don't want to get in the way of her and her husband starting their life as a married couple. And this is their honeymoon that they already paid for as well. So thank you for approving this.
Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Jim, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. Athletics, AS 1623 through AS 1723. Motion by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. Michael, for your budget finance.
BF 1223 to BF 1623.
Motion by Edward, second.
Second.
By Tom. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. Motion for adjournment.
Motion.
By everybody, second. Third.
Jennifer, that was nice of you to stay the whole time.
I just heard the neighbors, their last day was Friday. But I think you were my best.
So I got you on and it's great organization.
Oh, you don't go far away.
No.
Massive.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
My issue is I want.